Don't you find that odd how people from other nations and countries just come into the USA like they own it? Why are people that are in authority accepting people as refugees from communist and socialist nations? Communism is the same as socialism, not just a fancy term. You see what I'm saying? They're programmed to think one way. So when they get into the USA, they wonder why socialism starts rising in the USA. You're not just supposed to dump people that are trying to escape a communist nation into the USA like they're acceptable refugees. Completely unacceptable. Illegal. And then to see some people that are trying to get authoritative positions suddenly rise up, and the crowd around them are a bunch of aliens, meaning foreigners, immigrants, migrants, refugees that are not legit citizens. And then when you go to a voting booth, there's an alien greeting people as they drive into the driveway. And then they have people that are not even legitimate citizens voting like they're citizens. Don't you see something's wrong? That is why I'm in the position I am in right now. People looking through my head because of socialism and communist peoples that should have never been able to enter the USA and America, okay? See what they did to the God of America? Why are you allowing them into the borders and then relocating them to other states? See what I'm saying? There were concentration camps made against American citizens that I prayed against years ago. I saw that in advance. I was praying as I was watching through a computer for the nation that would backfire. But now the problem is, if the refugees are being sent to those concentration camps which were really murderous camps intended, okay, by jihadists to get rid of white American citizens. Like I said, that backfired. Now the refugees are getting in there, but the problem is they shouldn't even be allowed to cross the border. If they are seen, say, in a boat offshore, you don't bring them into the shore and into the nation. They need to go back. They don't belong here. See what I'm saying? If they're coming over by a plane, you stop the plane. You tell them to go back. They don't belong here. See what they did to my head? You know what I'm saying? They did that to one human being this whole time. I'm a legit citizen. I was born and raised in the USA. I am human. I have a soul. I know the God of USA. I do not condemn the God of USA. God of USA, God of America, and I are one. I respect the Lord with reverence. And I'm younger, and all these elders are rising up like they know what to do. But they're looking through my head to make important decisions in the government? See the problem? Immigrants, migrants, foreigners, so-called refugees, aliens are spying on how to get into America illegally and pose as a citizen. I've seen people dressed in militant uniform that are not military. You see what I'm saying? They're not USA militant. But that's what they do. They put on these costumes and appear to be legitimate citizens. They took my ID through my head and made a bunch of other IDs. And mine is a special USA Citizen ID, Gold Star. They looked through my head, they made a little photocopy through my head, and then made a bunch of fake IDs for illegitimate people that do not belong in this nation. COVID happened, and these rioters, which were actually terrorists, most of them, were having their way just because they claim to be victims. They don't even belong in the nation. If anybody could claim to be a legit victim, me. You know what I'm saying? And then they have where I'm located, those illegal people, those aliens that come into the nation, they try to crowd around me to look like they're natives of the land. I'm not an Indian. Native does not mean native Indian. I'm not indigenous. Native does not mean Native American Indian. There is no such thing. Indians are not native. That was the scandal when I was growing up. I was studying history. And because of what they did to my head when I was a baby, a child, they looked through my head and assumed something about history that was not so. So they made up a false history to overtake the USA, which is really America. That changed when I was younger also, with the BS. And then they're just adding aliens to places like Congress, pushing and shoving their way into power. That's That's not their power. They did this to me. When you saw people giving dap, they were cha-chinging me by making money off of me through my head. When I hold a fist, I am not saluting Black power. Black power stole white power. You see what I'm saying? That's how they got their powers, by stealing power from the God of this nation and from white citizens. Why would you support that? That's terrorism. And some of you are like so confused. Some of you are white, literally white people, American citizens. Some of you are white, not exactly Americans. You know what I mean? And you're rejecting your own race because of a lie. Your own flesh. That's sabotage. You see what I'm saying? How they brainwash people? Okay, anyway. I'm not like a hater, but I do hate my enemies. See what I'm saying? See how the religious brainwash people to love their enemies? Isn't that dumb? You know what I mean? That's not love. That's sabotage. That's like suicide. Okay? Love your enemies? What? No. It's not what Jesus was about. Jesus was slaughtered, murdered. And they kept doing that to me. If I were in certain, if I were in those kind of positions, or had, I've been in those kind of positions, I would choose differently. There's decisions being made that are just like, why are you jeopardizing the God of America? Why are you jeopardizing true, authentic citizens for aliens or migrants or immigrants? Wow. How insulting. I mean, how disrespectful. How wicked. Why are those people coming here? Maybe some of them are envious. Okay, why would you want envious people in the nation to overtake true citizens' rights? You see what I'm saying? Okay? Why would you want people that are leaving a nation that's being persecuted by God? God, okay, if God is supreme judge and judgments are falling against nations, why would they try to escape the judgment of God that went against them? See what I'm saying? See what you're doing? See what you did? to this nation? The one nation that says one nation under God of all the other nations? In other words, God's nation? You presumed to make decisions that went against the God of the nation you are trying to lead? When you go against God, you are literally causing a negative effect to happen in all the earth. Okay? You want your right to privacy. So do I. But my privacy right has been invaded. Therefore, all of your rights to privacy have been struggling. I mean, growing up, there were cameras in bathroom stalls watching people take a dump. Little did I know people were watching me through my head. That's torture. That is a cruel and unusual punishment. I didn't get any compensation. People know I'm in, they know the needs I've had looking through my head. Only a few people have given me a drink of water that's pure and has ice. Out of all the people looking through my head, and all the people looking through my head, are they religious? See what I'm saying? The hypocrisy? That's why I don't like religion. There are some decent people that are repentant, but that are working out, they're working on correcting things. But when I walk out in public and these alien people surround me that I don't want to be around, that I kind of like flick off, they don't belong here. There's a reason I don't want to be around them. I want to be around my own flesh and blood. I'm not from another nation. There are only certain people, if allowed to be brought into this nation, might be allowed. But you all have been allowing the enemy of the nation to come in since my childhood. Since my birth. You know what I mean? Like, because of a mistake, a misinformation about my true identity. That mistake ruined it for everyone. Now that you know the truth, you're just gonna sit back and let socialism rise up? Socialism is the reason that mistake happened to me. See what I'm saying? Don't you find that strange that certain people are ruling different states or cities that you wonder how the heck they got in that position? It just suddenly appeared there. Did you notice that? Okay. Wow. I might be young, you know what I'm saying, physically young, but I know what I'm talking about. I'm not exactly cold-blooded. I have a reason to be upset. That's sanity. I have a right to be upset about what happened to myself, to the God of my nation, to the earth. You're just making decisions without God, without consulting the God of the nation. You just look through my head and assume a decision. And I'm like, you know, like, what the, you know? I met someone vital, somebody vital to humanity. And you all tried to murder and get rid of the truth of God right through my head. I'm not talking about religious places and where they preached through my head and things like that. I'm talking about when you saw the Lord through my head. That was supposed to be a private conversation. And then you stole what was being done in that conversation. Like, you know what that's about? Wow, you wonder why things got rough in the government? You know what I mean? Like, there was a whiplash that took place. I mean, people using my name to get in positions, people looking through my head to take power and make money off of me. Okay, so they crucify. So what socialism does, socialism is not the same thing as socializing with people, hanging out with people, being friendly. That's not the same thing. Those are two different terms. Socialism is communism, just a modern term to kind of divert people from thinking, oh, that's the same thing as communism. It really is the same as communism. Just another word for communism. Okay, so what that does is that picks on one person. Okay, for example, what happened to me? They slay or they murder through different religious practices one person to take their assets, their income, their identity, and then they split that among the religious or the socialists. Okay? But that one person is the one that's worthy of those assets, of all that money, of those positions. You see what I'm saying? Etc. They made a community of one person. They made a community of my identity, and I am not pleased. That's not my world. They stole from me. Through Social Security, through my artwork. By looking through my head. And then they started weeping once they realized I am really a USA citizen. Etc. That's what they did to a USA citizen since birth. And that really upsets me regarding what happened to my body. They're making decisions they don't even know that God approved of. They're making decisions against certain things that God approved of. And then they're making decisions that God refused to approve of. Okay?